August 15th, 2012. That was the last time this happened.
The Seattle Mariners, Felix Hernandez, the 2-2. He got him! 34 years, 119 games. It's finally happened. A perfect game by a Seattle Mariner. It was done by the King, Felix Hernandez.
That was 7 years ago. The 23rd ever recorded perfect game in Major League history. Now, baseball's been around for at least 150 years and will likely be around for at least 150 more. But the question is, will there ever be another perfect game? Now, of course, I want to know your opinion on this. I have 3 reasons why there will never be a perfect game again, and 3 reasons why there probably will be another perfect game in the future. Of course, doing the math, it seems very illogical that there will never be another perfect game. So, I mean, it will probably happen again. I mean, you've got at least 40 games left in this season for every team. So 15 games a day times 40, that's a lot. Plus next season and every season after that, when there's 162 games played by 15 teams going up against each other, there is no doubt in my mind that it will probably happen again at some point again. It would be almost illogical to think that it will never happen again. But there are some reasons why I think, at least in this era of baseball, where we might not see one again for a long time. And we've seen stretches before in Major League history where there has been one perfect game in the course of 56 years. There was like 14 years at one point, one perfect game, and then like 35 more years that we had to wait for another one. But then we've also seen the other side of things. We've seen 2 perfect games within a month of each other in the same season. So, where do we see that balance? Will it ever happen again? Of course, like I said, I want to hear what you guys think. Will there be another perfect game ever again? A no-hitter, of course. That was happening a lot more frequently, but I want to know why. Because here are my reasons why a perfect game will never happen again. The first one is the balls have changed from back in the day, even 2012, when Felix Hernandez threw the last perfect game, as you saw at the beginning of the video. He threw it 7 years ago. In that time frame, the balls have changed dramatically. I mean, in today's day and age, the ball is a lot smaller. Of course, you know, it's juiced. It flies a lot farther. I've heard the seams are more tightly wound, so it's harder to grip for a pitcher. And in that case, well, you would think that a perfect game won't happen because, well, if you throw it over the middle of the plate, and if a pitcher misses a spot, it's likely going to go either a long way or find a hit. And, of course, a hit breaks up a perfect game. Therefore, in this current day and age, with these balls being the way they are, hitters aren't getting any worse. It's likely that there will be at least one hit a game, meaning no perfect game. The second reason, we're in this post-Moneyball sort of situation. It kind of goes along with the first reason, but ever since 2001, when the Athletics basically recreated baseball and really did well with this strategy. If you don't know what Moneyball is, I'm sure you've seen the movie. You're a baseball fan, one of the best baseball movies ever created. But it was basically, you've had the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Red Sox, every team above the Athletics. So this is the Athletics. Here would be the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Dodgers, everybody else. You've got, very similar strategies, right? This guy's good at defense, but this guy's better because he plays for the Yankees. This guy's good at hitting, but this guy's better because he plays for the Red Sox. So the Athletics needed an entirely different strategy to try to beat them. And that's what they did. They went out and got guys who walked a lot, guys who got on base, guys who hit home runs. It was a hit home run, strikeout, or walk situation. Now, this reason kind of ties back in to the first reason, because since the balls have changed, you would think that if a pitcher is losing grip or throwing it over the middle of the plate more, a guy who is going to hit home runs, a Nelson Cruz, Vogelbach, Edwin Encarnacion, Albert Pujols, right? These guys who are primarily power hitters, they're going to make a pitcher pay for it when he misses his spot. Therefore, it's going to be a home run. It's going to be a hit. The perfect game is gone, and you probably will never see one. It's just this post-Moneyball situation where all of these teams have started to develop this power first, this strikeout, walk, home run mentality, and it doesn't work. I mean, we've already seen the home run, titles change. We saw the record broken last year by the Yankees. We saw the Twins beat their record this year already in the month of August. Things have changed, and players have adapted to it's more of an uppercut swing, I guess, the higher launch angle, the balls being juiced, maybe tightly wound, the pitcher's losing grip. Unless we start to go back to let's hit for, speed and contact, let's work on our defense, until we focus on that part again, or teams start to transition back to that form of baseball, it's likely that you're going to see these power guys do really well against misplaced pitches. And that kind of leads me into reason number three. A lot more of the pitchers now have become flamethrowers, right? They're aggressive, hard-throwing pitchers. 98, 99, 100 miles an hour. That's become more common. Back in 2012, when this last perfect game was thrown, it was very much very particulate with your pitches. Be very consistent. When was the last time you heard King Felix be a power pitcher? He was very specific on where he placed pitches. Same with CC Sabathia, those kind of pitchers. Now we transitioned. Trevor May. You've got all these guys. For almost every organization. Aroldis Chapman. Those kind of guys who throw hard to try to get outs. Well, going back to reason one, you misplace a pitch. You're less accurate when you throw 99, 100 miles an hour. You miss a pitch, these batters, like I said, are not getting any worse. They are going to tattoo that ball over the fence. Or, on the other side of things, if it's not a home run, if it's not a hit, and you're throwing 100 miles an hour, we saw Aroldis Chapman face the Twins back at Target Field. He walked 3 batters. It's because he was less accurate because he was trying to throw too hard. That's the same thing. A walk breaks up a perfect game, right? No hitters are, I would say, more common. I'll go through those reasons here in a second, but perfect games, they're becoming less common because you've got all these different factors that go into it. The ball is changing. The hitters, they're recognizing that. Then you've got walks by the pitchers who are trying to throw too hard. It makes sense why a perfect game won't happen. Again, it's been 7 years, not the longest time, but 7 years since the last one. That is quite a long time. Now let's go through the reasons why it probably will happen again. Like I said, it's very illogical to think that a perfect game, a no-hitter, we've already seen a couple of them, will not happen again. It's very likely that it will. And the first reason is, since batters have become more strikeout prone, more walk prone, more home run prone, like that post-Moneyball approach, if a pitcher is on that day, Max Scherzer, Chris Sale, those guys who have been so dominant, over the past couple of years, even with the ball and it's changing and losing less grip, these guys have still remained so dominant. That's because they're going up against players that are very uppercut swing. If they swing and miss, they're not going to get a hit, right? You strike out all 27 guys, nobody reaches base, likely, very unlikely, but the point is, if you've got a team like the Mariners who are not very good, and they've got a ton of guys who are very power heavy, that uppercut swing, a good pitcher is going to throw up in the zone all day long, and they're just going to swing and miss it. And especially if you've got a good changeup, a good curveball that you can mix in there, they're going to swing over it, they're going to swing under it. That's going to be recipe 101 for a perfect game, a no-hitter. Like I've said, we've seen a couple of them this season. Now, reason number 2 is probably the best reason why a perfect game will continue to happen, and that's because pitchers, well, I guess you could look at it 2 different ways, but pitchers, they don't go the whole game anymore. It is so unlikely to see complete game shutouts anymore. If you see 1 or 2 of those by a pitcher a year, he usually leads the league, right? Because that is so out of this time frame with the flamethrowers, with everything like that. So, in that theory, bullpens have to step up, right? Bullpens, they are supposed to get outs. That is their job, right? Especially against certain matchups, lefty versus lefty matchups. they're designed to get outs. So if a pitcher goes 5 or 6 innings, like that's all they do anymore, if they go 5 or 6 perfect innings, you're almost expecting that the bullpen doesn't allow a hit, right? Because bullpens are designed to shut teams down. And when they do that, when the starter goes 6 or 7 perfect no-hit innings, it's very likely that the bullpen will follow. That's why we've seen 2 team no-hitters this year, by the Angels and by the Astros, because, well, the pitcher did their job, but the bullpen, they shut the batters down as well. So if, like I said, if a pitcher goes 7 innings, no hit, perfect innings, that only allows the bullpen to get in there, use as many guys as they need to keep that alive, and of course, that means you get the perfect game. So those are just my opinions on it. I mean, like I said, I want to know your guys' opinion just to celebrate today as being 7 years removed from Felix's perfect game. I want to know if we'll ever see one again. I would like to see one again, but, well, who knows? Who really knows? I think it's a really interesting topic. I want to know what you guys think. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Otherwise, please like the video, subscribe, enjoy it, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.